see Hedrick.
Yeah.
I will,
Good lady. Good lady.
Good lady. You know, she told me, she goes, you know, Chris, I knew you wouldn't quit. I knew you wouldn't give up. She's like, you're not like one of these people who just wants to sit at home.
Right.
You know, and me saying this, I know there's some people out there that, you know, physically can't.
Right.
So I'm not trying to be mean when I say that.
Right.
But she's like, I knew that you would want, I know that you want to get back out there, and I know that you had the determination to get back out there. So, you know, I'm proud to move you on to outpatient therapy.
That's good.
You know, on my last inpatient therapy. So I started at Dexter's outpatient at the hospital, and it was pretty soon after that Mom had informed me that she was moving down to Kent.
Yeah.
And she said, it's time that I am going to take care of my grandbabies and help my oldest son out.
Hey, which has worked out incredibly well.
She said, I am helping your brother out and taking care of my grandbabies.
Yep.
I want to see my grandbabies. And I said, well, I guess I'm coming with you then.
Yeah, I mean, because at that point,
You
didn't really, being on your own would be pretty difficult.
I was not capable at that point to really be on my own.
Yeah.
I
mean,
did not look. I wasn't in a wheelchair, but
when we went to our places, we did.
I was still using a cane.
Yeah, that's true. Because the wheelchair was before that.
Wheelchair, I was when we went into like malls or something like that. You pushed me around in a wheelchair, and honestly, it was fun.
Hey, yeah. This one time we went to, we were at Walmart getting my oil changed. There was a long line, and I was like, God dang, man, I want some Mexican. And Chris was like, you were like, I can't walk all the way over there. I was like, screw it, man. So we got one of them wheelchairs from Walmart you could push. And I pushed your ass all the way over to B Ranchito, and we got Mexican while they changed it. Then I pushed you all the way back to Walmart. It's not like we were gonna steal it, but it was.
Oh, that was great.
It was pretty doggone funny that we did that. We
That
got all
was
kinds
fun.
of stuff like that.
So I moved to Kennett, and you know, I went for a while without that job.
Yeah, well, I mean,
you know, I went for a while without a job. You know, until Mikey, honestly, you know, said in so many words, "What the hell are you doing?" And he gave me, pretty much, figuratively speaking, a slap in the head, and said, "Do what you need to do to get back on your feet," and that was substitute teach, which was what I was doing at Sykeston.
Yeah, before the accident.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about it. So now you went to Kennett. Dr. Leaker gave you a shot being a sub. Was it right, Dr. Leaker?
Yes,
then,
I was. Yes, I was. You know, just kind of standing on sidelines during football games and stuff like that. And Dr. Leaker was talking to me. You know, came up and he'd come up and talk to me and, you know, say hi and stuff like that and ask me what I'm doing and stuff. And, you know, and I just said, you know, I have an associate's degree, you know,
right,
and a substitute certificate. And he's like, well, put it in when you actually want to go back to work.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll find a spot for you. So I put it in, and first place I ended up was AEP.
I swear that one year you might have been in there more than anybody. It was close.
I feel like hey, that one year I felt like I was the official AEP sub.
Man, you were there all the time. But and then that job turned into the job you currently have, which is a teacher's aide or paraprofessional. I don't know what do you call it, but
Well,
and
to me, it's the same. To me, it's the same thing.
yeah, and so so now you work out in the SPED building at the high school, and you
Yes.
help kids. Last year I thought your job was cool, where you were helping kids get their work done and caught up and things like that.
It was a resource. It was a resource room.
Yeah.
I had to think, well, not only Dr. Leaker, Mr. Pritchett and for that, but I had to thank, Mr. Brown for that.
Yeah.
Weldon Brown for that.
Stuck his neck out for you.
He, actually what happened was, throughout the summer, I kept on getting asked,
Yeah.
and I was thinking, kind of like what I'm doing, being a substitute teacher, I'm kind of fine, and finally, I'm at the bowling alley, and I'm throwing strikes, and I was having a pretty good game, and finally Mikey texts me, and he goes, all right, Mr. Brown wants to know if you want to take this job or not. Do you want to come in for an interview? Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I'll come in for an interview, You get asked so many times.
Right.
So, came in for an interview, and originally, I was supposed to work at middle school, and be a personal paraprofessional, and eventually it got changed to me working at the high school.
Yeah.
And I just thank Mr. Brown for that, honestly, because, that opportunity wouldn't have came up, if he wouldn't have kept on pushing me
Yeah.
and asking me for it, and then Dr. Leaker and them giving me a good reference and stuff.
Right. I think I want to talk about a couple more things, and then I think I want to save your WrestleMania stories for a different segment where we could talk strictly about WrestleMania stories or fun trips we've had to deal with wrestling, and we could just share some of those funny stories. You kind of want to stick to more of the biography line the rest of this, and then then we'll have our own little segment where we bounce off back and forth about WrestleMania stuff. So, we'll wrestling with Webby WrestleMania stories or something, and we could talk about, you could tell me some of the cool stories, and we could share about some of our experiences, because we've had some really funny ones. So I've got about 2 more questions, and then I'm going to ask you about, and then I'll ask you the important question I ask everyone who comes on the biography, okay? One of the things I want to talk about is track. I think that track is something that, I'm not gonna lie, we got a picture in here. It's a picture of us where we won not really we were the coaches, where we won districts in 2019 district champions in track with the boys. And I'm looking at it right now, and it's really cool. It's me, Chris, and Mikey, and it's one of my favorite pictures, because you had 3 people who never did track. Mikey did middle school, and we all learned how to do it, we worked together. We had some great kids come out, and we worked with them, and we were able to win the district championship. It was just so special about that. And so tell us a little bit about your track coaching experience. So I know now you're an official assistant track coach for the high school, and maybe tell us a little bit. I obviously know how you got there, but tell us a little bit about how you were working your way through, and you showed up, and now all of a sudden you're the jump coach for the for the track team at Kent High School.
Okay, well, you know, when I first started, you know, originally I kind of felt like, well, when I first started, I was still in that down time, that down period.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't completely back on my feet. It took me a long time to get back to normal.
Yeah.
And I originally felt like, you know, because we had just kind of moved here. I think it was 2018.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. And I kind of felt like it was you and me, you know, finding something to do because you needed somebody to help you coach
Yeah.
and stuff. So I felt like it was something you and me was doing. You know, I enjoyed it, but, you know, as I told the track kids, it wasn't last year, but the year before, I was one of those real nasty, soggy sandwiches that you don't want to eat, you know, because I didn't really know what I was doing.
Right.
You know, I didn't. You know, everybody has that year where they're not the best at something.
Right.
You know, the next year I was more experienced. I got more experience. You know, and I felt like I was able to help more. You know, and you know, this year
This year would have been something special.
would have been something special. It would have been something special if COVID wouldn't have gave us a nice or a hard kick. Thankfully, nothing completely serious, you know, happened to everybody.
Right. Just, I know it's bad, but it's not. At least it's the.
Like it. Thankfully, it just canceled the season. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it didn't cancel everything yet. You know, hopefully we can get back to normal at least.
Yeah.
This year, I hope.
But my becoming coach this year, this coming year, you know, Mikey is not coach there this year, and that opened the door for me to become assistant track coach, and I'm thankful for that. You know, honestly, that, you know, the school thinks that I can fill that.
Yeah, they
role.
believe in you. You know.
You know, but and that, you know, I'm not that that so-called nasty, soggy sandwich anymore, and that, you know, that I have enough knowledge that they believe in me that I can do the job.
Yeah, and I think that's really good. Trying to think. Well, I want to.
But the kids also, you know, now, I don't feel like that all the kids know more than I do. At first, especially the first couple of years, I felt like the kids knew more than me. And as a coach, to me, you don't, for me, I didn't like that.
No,
You know,
yeah,
now,
no, nobody
you know,
would.
now I feel better about myself and that, and, you know, especially by that year, I
That
felt
helps a
better.
bunch, don't it?
That, by that year, I felt better.
Well, I mean,
about
you're
that.
taking jumpers, you know, and helping them. I mean, you're taking kids that had a hard time making it through other teams. I mean, you sent you sent 3 jumpers to sectionals, and then one of those went ahead and made it on to state, you know, in the long and the triple, and that was cool. And you know, let's switch gears a little bit. I want to ask you a couple funny questions, and then I want to ask you the important question.
Funny question.
All right, so what if you could have one superpower, what would you have?
One superpower. Oh, I don't. I don't know that.
You don't know that
I don't know that one. I don't.
It's okay.
I don't know that one.
That's That's all right. Let's switch gears a little bit then. What do you think is your happiest memory?
Happiest memory. I have two.
Okay.
I have two. One, graduating from college. Took me a long time to do that. I started in 2007,
Yeah.
and I graduated in 2015. There was a few bounces there,
That's all right.
but I graduated. Had some help, a lot of help, and my friend over in Poplar Bluff, Jason Whitson,
Yeah.
or you all see him on my channel, Jason Funny. Had a lot of help from him, a lot of help from our sister, driving me back and forth, and teachers and stuff.
Dad.
Dad.
Hey, all those dinners at Grecian after he picked you up in Sykeston.
Yep. Mom. Herb. Hey, one of the best things she did was saying, I'm not getting you out of the hole. I'm gonna make you pay, getting yourself out of the hole. And then that first semester, she made me pay to go back to school.
Yeah.
That was one of the best learning experiences. I will say that.
Yeah.
Because that taught me, discipline, and, that's one of the first things, I will say, go to class, be smart, go to class.
Yeah.
Don't have a setback. If you're gonna go to college, have fun, but make sure you go to class and, get your grades and stuff done. But, and then the second one, and I'm sorry I left some teachers out, because there's a lot of teachers that helped me too. And then the second one was, and you're going to talk about wrestling and stuff like that, but the happiest memories, I would have to say, being able to go to WrestleManias and stuff.
Yeah.
When we were kids, I always wanted to, you and me growing up, every pay-per-view, we always sat with Dad watching every In Your House, Survivor Series, SummerSlam, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, didn't matter, every one, Dad had it on pay-per-view for us. And I always remember watching every Raw, every Monday, and then Nitro was on the other television in the other room.
Yeah.
So I remember growing up, I said, I want to be at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And WrestleMania 27, you came down. I don't remember what you were down for, but we were all sitting in Dad's front room. You, me, Mindy, and Dad and Mom, and everybody was sitting there. And Undertaker went 19-0. And I said, I have to be in Miami for 20-0. And you said, if you save up money, then you will go. And I saved up, I think, the money, or at least part of the money for it.
Yeah.
And we went to Miami that year, and we saw it. And I remember stuffing my face with hot dogs and all different types of stuff. And at the time, I thought it was only going to be 1 year. Needless to say, that did not happen.
No. You've been to how many now? I don't want to get too much into it because I want to save them for, because there's a lot of crazy stories. I want to save them for, those own little parts of the channel. But how many of you went to now? What is it? 5 or 6 or 7?
28, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34.
So you've been to 6.
Yeah.
So we got some stories to put up, but maybe we'll do one episode for WrestleMania or something.
But that probably is.
That's good. Well, before I forget, before we run out of time, I want to put I want to talk a little bit about your channel. The www, we got Wrestling with Webby,
Yes.
and it's on YouTube, and you have a lot of different things that you do on there. I know you've recently started this backyard beatdown, is that right?
Yes.
Backyard beatdown wrestling stuff, kind of fun. You're having these matches in the backyard. It's kind of silly, but it's still kind of fun too. I think I've been the commentator and the cameraman. Tell us briefly about that.
It's mad.